Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Ad America, the U.S. Embassy's American Center, with me, Hasna Rohani, as one of the e-guides here in Ad America. We are here today to celebrate the continuous and dedicated efforts put in by each and every one of you to make equal rights and opportunities what it is today, where women are empowered to lead the future of tech in ASEAN and beyond. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Empowering Women in Tech, Breaking Barriers, Building Success. Thank you very much. This event is conducted hybrid, where we have more participants across countries joining us virtually today. And for those of you who are joining us via Zoom, we have provided the simultaneous interpretation feature that comes with 4 different foreign languages that you can select according to your preference. Ladies and gentlemen, this event will be commenced by an opening remark and will be followed by a short discussion to give us a brief explanation, a brief overview of today's topic. And with that, I would like to invite the Deputy Chief of Mission of the U.S. Mission to ASEAN. Please give a warm welcome to Ms. Kate Repholz.
Thank you for such a wonderful welcome, and thank you to all of you for joining us here tonight. A huge round of applause. I want to extend a warm welcome also to not just you, our in-person audience, but also our virtual audience that is joining us for today's hybrid panel discussion on empowering ASEAN women in artificial intelligence. This is both a timely and relevant topic. And I have to say, I am already just so inspired by the conversations I've had with some of you already. We have an incredible group of entrepreneurs who are joining us today. And we have some of, are you the smartest students in Indonesia? Oh, I think so. Saya kira ya, right? Yeah, harus. Okay, so while AI is an emerging and growing field, according to the 2019 UNESCO estimates, women only comprise 12% of AI researchers and only 6% of software developers worldwide. This highlights the importance of supporting women's leadership to ensure decision makers do not use data embedded with gender bias that disproportionately and negatively affects women. The U.S. Mission to ASEAN is proud to host this group of distinguished leaders and experts from countries across Southeast Asia and the United States who will be joining us this evening in a hybrid format. In 2 separate panel discussions, our distinguished guests will share with us strategies on how to mitigate gender bias in AI development, how to promote women's leadership in the field of AI, and so I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our panelists for their time and their valuable perspectives. I'd also like to thank Assistant Secretary Raman Tului, whose Bureau of Economic and Business Affairs generously provided the funding to make this event possible through its POWER initiative. And POWER stands for Providing Opportunities for Women's Economic Rise. I'm honored to introduce today's keynote speaker, Assistant Secretary Tului, who is joining us from Washington. Assistant Secretary Tului has led the Bureau of Economic and Business Affairs since January 2022. In this role, Assistant Secretary Tului leads the Department of State's efforts in expanding opportunity for American workers and businesses, deepening cooperation with other countries on shared economic challenges, and leveraging economic tools to advance U.S. national security objectives. Before joining the State Department, the Assistant Secretary was Professor of the Practice of International Finance at Stanford University and the Tad and Diane Taub Policy Fellow at the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research. From 2014 to 2017, he also served as the Assistant Secretary for International Finance at the U.S. Treasury Department, where he was responsible for international monetary affairs, global financial markets, coordination with the G7 and G20, and regional and bilateral economic issues. He received a bachelor's degree summa cum laude in economics from Harvard University and a master's degree in international relations from Oxford University, where he was a Rhodes Scholar. We're so pleased that the Assistant Secretary could take time out of his busy schedule to join us today. And so without further ado, please join me in welcoming Assistant Secretary Raman Tului.
Well, DCM Rebels, thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you to all of the participants, both live and online, for joining today. I could not be more delighted to join this group discussing this topic. This is a topic I have a great deal of passion for. Before I came to the State Department in this role, while I was teaching at Stanford, I taught a course on the economics of artificial intelligence. And the reason that I designed that course is because I believe deeply that this technology of artificial intelligence has enormous capacity to improve our lives, strengthen our economies, provide more economic opportunity, but also address some of the most important problems that our societies face. When I came to the State Department, I launched an initiative called AI Connect through one of the think tanks here in Washington, and participated in its first event to establish a network of AI policymakers and professionals around the world. And just this week at the UN General Assembly, the US State Department hosted an event on using artificial intelligence to accelerate progress on the Sustainable Development Goals, where Secretary Blinken spoke, other foreign ministers spoke, and most interestingly, we had a number of private sector companies present on how their technologies are being used right now to advance the Sustainable Development Goals. We heard a number of examples, but it included using computer vision through just smartphone cameras to detect a form of retinopathy that affects premature infants, and getting that kind of diagnostic capability to a number of children in Africa that would be completely impossible with limitations on traditional technology and the number of doctors. We saw an example of the World Bank using also computer vision to analyze satellite imagery to better map where people live in rural parts of Africa, so that the plan for expanding the electricity grid could be done in a more efficient way. So these technologies have enormous potential to help solve problems that we care about. At the same time, there are risks with these technologies, and in particular, risks that you all are aware of from bias. To the extent that algorithms are trained on historical data or data sets that are biased, there's a risk that it replicates these biases. And that's something I talked about in my course, that's talked about at many of these conferences, but it requires an incredible diligent effort to combat. So the US government is doing a number of things, both to take advantage of the opportunities of artificial intelligence, but also to try to address some of its risks. Earlier in the summer, in July, the White House announced agreement with leading artificial intelligence companies on a set of voluntary commitments, which include commitments to transparency, fighting bias, and also using these technologies to help address society's most important problems. We also are taking steps to try to encourage more participation of women in the development of these technologies. In January of this year, we launched our US strategy for global women's economic security, which lays out the US government's vision and also programs for helping to ensure that women play a more significant role in the economy all around the world. Specifically in the technology area, on World IP Day, we celebrated that with a theme, Women and Intellectual Property Accelerating Innovation and Creativity, to lift up the role that women are playing in not only in technology, but also in the creative industries, another generator of intellectual property. And last year, when I was at the APEC meetings, which were hosted by Thailand in Bangkok, I participated in an awards ceremony for a State Department program called Global Innovation Through Science and Technology, which featured a pitch competition where female entrepreneurs presented their business ideas that were not only for producing profit, but for addressing key societal problems, whether it be climate or hunger. And we had just an enormously inspiring set of finalists and winners for that award. And as the Deputy Chief of Mission mentioned, we're very proud to support this gathering today through our Power Initiative, providing opportunities for women's economic rise, to help you all not only participate in a forum discussing these important issues, but a key aspect of the Power Initiative is to help create networks, connect you all to one another, connect you all to mentors and other individuals who can help facilitate your success. So I am delighted to be here. Unfortunately, because of another commitment, I won't be able to join for the panel discussions, but I couldn't be more pleased to help launch this event. And I do have some time for some questions, which I'd be delighted to take. So thank you again for participating.
So I would love to start with a question from the audience here. And I know because we have such a fantastic group of students and entrepreneurs and thinkers and doers that there will be some really great questions here. So if we could start with a question from the audience, we'll start with a question from you. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Ms. Kate and Mr. Raymond. My name is Clara from Indonesia Defense University. I would like to ask you a question. Does United States have specific program for supporting ASEAN women in AI or ASEAN women in general in the near future? Maybe like STEM scholarship for women or something. Thank you so much.
Well, so maybe I could turn to the Assistant Secretary to talk in general terms, and then I can talk about some of the resources that maybe we have at the U.S. mission to ASEAN. Assistant Secretary, over to you.
Yes, I'll defer to our Deputy Chief of Mission on some of the specific programs that we have in ASEAN. Globally, we have a number of different programs. Here in my bureau, we have this Power Initiative, which sponsors events like this. I mentioned the initiative that our Bureau of Oceans, Environment, and Science has, which is promoting the global innovation in science and technology, and the events such as the pitch competition I described. We have an Office of Intellectual Property that also lifts up these examples of women's participation in the creative industries. But let me defer to our Deputy Chief of Mission to talk about some of the events in the ASEAN area.
Sure. So I think this is a fantastic question because it is especially great for all of you to know that the U.S. government, I think it was only in 2022, announced that we would double the size of our Fulbright program. And I'm pleased to say that this year, we were supposed to do it within 3 years, but we managed to do it much faster than that. And so this year, we have already doubled the size of the number of Fulbright scholars from across ASEAN going to the United States to study. And I can't think of a better way for you to invest in your skills and for everyone here to invest in skills than studying and pursuing higher education in the United States, or looking to complete a project through Fulbright of research and study in the United States. So I would encourage you to think about the Fulbright program. We also have several programs we're working on with ASEAN and through ASEAN mechanisms, and I am going to direct you to two members of my team who are sitting here who'd be happy to talk about some of the specific initiatives that might align with some of your more specific goals about what you'd like to study and how you'd like to make sure that your skills contribute to what ASEAN is trying to do and some of our goals in ASEAN. So with that, I am going to turn to a question from our online participants, and I think it's very clear that some of the folks here in the room and online have a far deeper understanding of the power of AI than I do. One of the top questions that came in was, what mitigation measures are best carried out voluntarily by companies, and what is best achieved through regulation? So, Assistant Secretary, I think that question is really best for you.
Well, the approach that we've taken here in the United States is really to, well, first of all, we have existing legal frameworks with respect to anti-discrimination that apply to whether there's the use of technology or there's not the use of technology. And I think it's important that our existing legal frameworks with respect to anti-discrimination, discrimination on the basis of women, of gender, on the basis of race, on the basis of religious affiliation and religious belief, that those continue to be applicable in the era of artificial intelligence and the use of technology for the making of economic decisions and other decisions in our society. So that, I think, is a bedrock role that the government has. With respect to the specific applications of artificial intelligence, I think there we have pursued the approach that was featured at the White House, which is focusing our leading technology companies on these issues, on transparency, on commitments to combat bias, and that it's through this combination of the legal framework, which emphasizes anti-discrimination, with the dialogue with companies and the commitments by companies on the specific measures they're going to use in an era of artificial intelligence to make sure that these technologies are not deployed in a way that produces discriminatory or biased results, is the approach that we think is the best one. Now, I should say, I think that there are two reasons why events like this one are very important in the context of this. The first one is because it's important to have a diverse set of voices, and in particular, the voices of women, the voices of ethnic minorities, racial minorities, in the first instance, because that can help to reduce bias, because you have people who have a broader field of vision involved in the decisions about the design of these technologies. But the second reason it's very important is because it helps to guide the application of these technologies to questions that are relevant to a broad segment of society. So it's not just designing technologies that don't have bias embedded in them. It's also ensuring that these technologies are applied to problems that the full diversity of our populations care about. And that's why it's important to have this broad participation in this endeavor of artificial intelligence.
Thank you. I am positive there's a question from the audience. Is there one from this side of the room, maybe? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for your change. My name is Iguste Devandanyani. You can call me Fanny. I came from President University, and I want to ask regarding your key strategic. We all know that there's this thing like social construct. It's already shaped our mind, especially as women, to think that being in tech or being in artificial intelligence is just not for us. And I want to ask, is there any key strategic for us, especially women, to think that and being brave to enter this field, especially tech, which is very important in the new era of artificial intelligence? Thank you.
That's a fantastic question. Assistant Secretary, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so first of all, let me answer this with some humility, which is that there are others who have more familiarity with this subject and the way to tackle these incredibly deep-seated sort of social and cultural issues and barriers. So I'll just answer it from my perspective, which is, and something that my bureau has tried to do, and something that that I've tried to do in some of the participation in other activities at state, is to lift up examples of women who are working in this field, both leaders, women who have achieved already, considerable success in the creative industries or in technology, or young entrepreneurs. I mentioned this event, the GIST event, Global Innovation Through Science and Technology, that we hosted in Bangkok during APEC last year. And the premise of this is that one way to try to break down the social construct, as you put it, and the image that technology is dominated by men, and in particular white men, is to show examples of individuals who are breaking that mold, so that they can serve as a source of inspiration, a source of emulation for others, and create an idea that people and young women can actually achieve in this field. So that's the part of this question that I've been most involved with, this elevating and celebrating the examples of women who are doing excellent work in this field. And that, I think, is going to the social construct. And then the Deputy Chief of Mission identified some of the programs in terms of, from the bottom up, trying to create the connections and create these skills. But I would throw it back over to her, and also to our experts who, our two experts who were shown on camera briefly, one of whom I know who used to work in Washington, D.C., Taiwan, to elaborate on that.
Well, okay, saya akan bercampur-campur sedikit, okay? I said I'm going to mix English and Indonesian karena saya sudah tinggal di Indonesia 5 tahun. Pasti saya tahu, ya. Indonesian women are amazing. So you should give yourselves a round of applause, right? And I would ask our students to ask some of the, I know, mentors who are entrepreneurs and already leaders in science, tech, and doing really incredible things for advice and inspiration, because I know from my time living in Indonesia that there is really nothing that Indonesian women can't do. And so I hope that that is meaningful to you, and I would encourage you to talk to the other women in the audience here and our panelists for inspiration. And Assistant Secretary, we have, I hope, time for one last question. I know that you have to go, but if there's one last question from the audience, we have maybe time for that. Yes, please.
All right, thank you very much. First of all, good night, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ilham Saktiaji. You can people call me Ilham. As we know that every people have the different privilege, and the AI and artificial intelligence are the tools for people to pursue and build their own ethnic industries. And I want to know that what what resources and support systems are available for women who want to build their own own technology business. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Assistant Secretary, I think this is a question about tech entrepreneurism and how to support women who want to start their own companies.
Well, a lot of this, from the government perspective, we can do a few things. One of the things is to make sure that our citizens and as many citizens as we can reach around the world have the basic set of skills through our educational systems, that those resources are being provided in ways that are not discriminatory on the basis of gender, religion, etc. The other thing that we can do is make sure that we have as level a playing field in our economies as possible, so that we don't have, so that small businesses and entrepreneurs have opportunities to succeed. One thing that's very important that my bureau does is the issue of intellectual property and support for the protection of intellectual property, so that people and small businesses who are, and including women who are entrepreneurs and have ideas, can actually protect those ideas and scale them up without having others, including larger companies, take them and benefit from the intellectual property. And then I mentioned the things that we can do to elevate the good work that entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, are undertaking. We also saw in this event that I mentioned at the UN General Assembly this week on using the artificial intelligence to advance the Sustainable Development Goals, examples of a lot of larger businesses partnering with local startups and local community leaders to address some of these problems. So we saw examples of that with Google and Microsoft and Meta working with local partners in various developing countries. And that can be another enormous source of support for new entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs. And this goes back to what I was mentioning before about having this diverse set of voices participating in this industry is essential, not only to combating bias, but also making sure that the applications of these technologies reflect the problems that our entire societies face. So those are a few ideas from the perspective of the State Department here in Washington, and I would welcome our colleagues at US ASEAN to add to that.
Well, thank you so much. I want to just before adding to anything, want to thank you, Assistant Secretary, for joining us today. I know you have an event you have to go to after this discussion, and so on behalf of the U.S. mission to ASEAN, thank you so much for all that you have done, and then thank you also for joining us today. And could I ask our audience to give the Assistant Secretary a round of applause as well? So thank you so much.
Let me thank.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me again just thank U.S. ASEAN for putting this event together, and just heartfelt thanks to all of the participants there in Jakarta and around the region for taking the time on your Friday night for this important event. Thank you, and I hope the rest of the session is fantastic.
Well, thank you. Thank you also for fantastic questions, and I am so excited to see what the rest of the event tonight is going to look like, and I just thank you all for your time and attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DCM Kate Bolts, along with Assistant Secretary Ramen Tolui, for today's enlightening session. And now, before we start the first session of our panel discussion with the wonderful speakers, allow me to invite our moderator for today's session, the Senior Officer of the Science and Technology Division at the ASEAN Secretariat. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Fani Narita.
Thank you very much, and good night to everyone here and also online participants. It's really great to be in at America again. I think this is my 5th time. And this is the first time actually I'm moderating this session, and I'm very excited because we're going to talk about AI, a very hot issue lately, especially in ASEAN. We know the opportunities, the advantage, but we also know the risk and some unknown issues that we need to tackle. So without further ado, I think I will start technology. Start to invite the first panelist, Annie Matthew. Annie Matthew is Director, Developer Relations, Microsoft Asia Singapore, please. She advocates for more inclusive tech industry, and in her current role, she drives the mission of empowering developers and startups across Asia to achieve more with technology. And she holds a degree in electrical engineering from University of Kerala and an MBA from Indian School of Business. Nice to have you. And our second panelist is Dr. Hashia Karima Adli. Dr. Hashia has been recognized as a very vibrant and dynamic founding dean of Malaysia's first data science faculty. She is a Microsoft certified trainer who is actively involved in AI and digital training and workshops. And she holds a degree from Osaka University with nearly 10 years of academic experience. And finally, we have a panelist who's joining us online, Dr. Ayu Purwaryanti. Dr. Ayu is the head of AI in Bandung Institute of Technology, and she's also the co-founder of Prosa AI, startup that provides AI solutions specializing in Bahasa Indonesia natural language processing. In 2017, she won Bernd Road Award granted by ASEAN European Academic University Network to outstanding scientific and higher education collaborations in project excellence. She received bachelor and master degree in engineering from Bandung Institute of Technology and a doctoral degree in information and computer science from Toyohashi University of Technology, Japan. So please give a round of applause again to our panelists. And before we start our panelists, we're going to run a video from James Kirven, Regional Technology Officer, U.S. Consulate General, Sydney.
Hello, thank you for joining today. I'm James Servan, a Regional Technology Officer with the U.S. Department of State, and it's my honor to speak with you about the importance of artificial intelligence and the opportunities and challenges it represents for everyone around the world. As a foundational technology, driving advances that can help solve some of the world's most pressing issues in science, medicine, manufacturing, and clean energy, it's imperative that we understand and shape the future of AI. AI is already everywhere. The choice is not whether AI will be used, but how to ensure it is used responsibly and for good. The breakthroughs of advanced AI systems, including generative AI tools like DALL-E and ChatGPT, represent a unique moment in the long trajectory of AI development. They are making AI more accessible while providing even greater AI-enabled capabilities. All of us, governments, businesses, schools, and individuals, need to think seriously about the AI era that we are now entering. We need to maximize the benefits and minimize the risks of these technologies as they rapidly evolve. We believe in a transparent, consensus-based, and private sector-led approach to developing standards for new and emerging technologies. That is how we'll arrive at standards that are technologically sound, have earned people's trust, reflect our values, and help American companies compete on a level playing field. Emerging technologies, like AI, present many opportunities. AI will play a transformational role in the future of our economies and our whole society. At the same time, there are concerns about how AI technologies can be misused by authorities, including individuals, organizations, or even regimes, to repress or arbitrarily surveil domestic and foreign populations and to manipulate these populations for political purposes. We must continue to advance innovation that complements our approach to human rights and fundamental freedoms, privacy, and the rule of law. We remain concerned by the potential for discrimination resulting from automated decision-making. If an AI system is trained or evaluated on unrepresentative data, then it will likely yield unrepresentative performance. We recognize important concerns related to surveillance, profiling, individual content, including image or text content generated using AI. We must ensure that any AI model we deploy is based on data that is sufficiently accurate, unbiased, and widely representative of all groups in society. We must ensure that AI technologies are only used for applications that respect democratic values and human rights, rather than as a means for social, political, and economic control. AI tools can also be deployed around the world to enhance capabilities and improve efficiencies in nearly all industrial and societal sectors, including telecommunications, wastewater, infrastructure, transportation, energy, and agriculture. Applications in some of these sectors are often collectively captured in notions like smart cities, where domestic efforts to ensure privacy, civil rights, and civil liberties can transform international efforts and change the shape of the cities in which we live day to day. Together, we can make a real difference in the development of this important technology and ensure that it represents our diverse cultures and our political values going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we have very good points to talk about tonight. One is from the Assistant Secretary and Deputy Chief of Mission. We're discussing about the opportunities, but also we need to discuss also about the risk and the importance of being transparent and also being fair when we develop AI or when we try to solve to use AI in different applications around the world, especially SDGs. So in regards of this, I'm curious about your views, Annie. What do you think about policy in AI development or even in gender bias? How do we make sure that we utilize AI, but at the same time we make sure everything is fair or transparent? Please, Annie.
Yes, we are diving in at the deep end. So from all that we heard, I think the big point in my mind is that it's imperative today. And why is policy, practices, people, inclusion in the development of AI important? If you look back at any technology, it is important. Policies are important because there was a time when everything went digital, including payments, and the whole security conversation came up. And now there's a zero trust policy on security, right? So first, when automobiles came in, I don't think we had so many policies and regulations. And then the roads were built and certification of the drivers to how do you drive on a road, to all of that happened. So AI is a nascent technology, if you will. So a lot of the regulations are still being built. The roads are being built, if you will. The certifications are being built and so on and so forth. So we heard from all the speakers now that it requires the government, the private players like Microsoft and all the big ones, and the small organizations like the startups to come together. But for me, the interesting thing is why is the conversation around women so important in this policy? And that comes back to a lot of the bias part of it. So I was sitting with a bunch of 16-year-old girls in Malaysia about 3 years back. And we were talking about this same topic. And they were trying to get their heads around it, and I was telling them about air conditioning. Often we feel very cold. Women feel very cold in the offices, and men feel comfortable. And there's a study that says that for every 1 degree drop in a comfort level of temperature, 8% productivity loss. And imagine sitting in an office where women are huddling with sweaters and blankets, and men are comfortable, and we are already maybe 2 or 3 degrees colder than usual, and so our productivity is already at a 24% lower. So I was asking those 16-year-old girls, so what should we do about this? And there was one little girl who piped up and said, we should be part of building it. And that's the crux of today's state of AI, that we should be part of building those AI solutions, from designing the solution to developing the solution to testing it to using it to policy making. Now, coming to the policy side of things, there are two policies, and I'll make this short. One is the technology side of it. So there's bias baked into data, into algorithms, into systems that are testing it, and into how much of it is accessible to whom. So many of them are not accessible to women. And this bias, which is a reflection of the bias existing in the society today, and we talked about societal constructs, this societal bias actually creeps into the data, into the algorithm, into everything that we are building. And the thing about human bias is that it's hard to decipher whether I am biased, you are biased. Machines cannot tell that because the machines are biased. And so the only way to crack that is by representation. And that's the reason why, regardless of what societal construct and what problems we face, we should just absorb the fact that if I don't participate in this today, 10 years later, I cannot roll this back. Because that air conditioning system was created in the 1940s by a white Caucasian male who was 42 or 45 years old, built on his own data. That's a white Caucasian male body temperature data. And the systems are still running on that, which is why we are feeling so cold. So if we really need to be part of this solution. So policies required are across all of these elements, and to make sure that women are actually able to participate by the soft policies of, I think another panel is going to discuss that in more depth.
Thank you so much. And I think it's really interesting, the example that you mentioned. So sometimes when you build something that there's like a bias, so it's really important for us to have like diverse representatives. So related to this, so what do you think about that, Dr. Hashia? How do you think about inclusiveness in the AI? For example, how to build AI, even on how to make sure the applications of AI. Thank you.
Okay, so I will start with a task given to audience. I want everyone to search on the Google. Search on someone is computer engineer or someone is computer programmer, and look at the image. Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of photos showing male working with the computer, and only just a few photos showing the women. Am I right? Yes. So it's meaning that this is a proof of historical gender disparities. Okay. So this is because of traditionally this tech sector is male dominant profession. Okay, leading to what you are seeing now. So no wonder you see like a lot of photos of male in the Google, right? So another example is like in 2014, Amazon has created one AI hiring tool, okay, whereby that tool is like doesn't like women because it looks like, based on Reuters report, it looks like it is discriminated against women, applicant women that apply job at Amazon. Okay, but then Amazon already stopped using that hiring tool that they have developed. But unluckily, there are a lot of hiring company use their tool to screen the resume of the applicants and then to find out, to shortlist their candidates. So this is a bad thing actually. Okay, so in the context of breaking bias gender in the AI, so the inclusive development should be like to ensure the equitable use of artificial intelligence and related technology, equitable like that can promote, can use for both genders, okay, without perpetuating existing gender disparities. Okay, and then we need to look at the importance of the ethical AI, okay, that promote the human rights, the fairness, and no discrimination. And as Annie shared before about the policy, there are a number, the increasing numbers of the government and industry-specific regulation that highlight on the responsible AI development. Yeah, this involving with the establishing a set of guidelines and framework of AI, okay, the best AI models, to ensure that the AI models promote fairness, yeah, equitable for both genders, transparent, and no discrimination. Yeah, in the context of technical, maybe later on Dr. Ayu will give more example on technical views. We need to focus more on the use of the representative data, the representative data, whereby the data is collected from both genders, so that there's no discrimination, and then it involved with the both perspective and the needs for both genders. Okay, as an example, like e-commerce company, they use their representative data, whereby they collect the information of their customer in order to ensure that their for the recommendation algorithm that does not favor to only specific gender. This is important. And another thing, I'm highly, as academic, I'm highly promoting the gender diversity in AI development teams. Okay, because nowadays we can see like a lot of tech company actively seeking hiring female engineer and data scientists to collaborate together to produce their AI model, so that the woman's perspective also can be considered throughout the process. Okay, and then maybe I can add some more on the opportunity. We can, as we are in Asian country, Asian country has a wide array of like cultures, languages, okay, and then economic disparities, which become our source of strength. Okay, we can have like multi-stakeholder cooperation, okay, across the Asian that involve with governments, okay, industries, universities, okay, civil society, and so on, to sit down together to collectively address the gender bias in the AI. Okay, for our side in University Malaysia Kelantan, okay, in Malaysia, through our Faculty of Data Science and Computing, and we also have Artificial Intelligence and Big Data Center, we regularly conduct the AI and related IR 4.0 workshop and trainings that participate mostly women. We give more opportunity to women to participate in our program. In fact, I also work together with Annie with our previous program, Microsoft Code Without Barrier, which is focused more on the women, okay, by closing the digital gap among women in digital tech skill. Okay, and last June, I just back from Korea. Okay, work together with Korean Asian Pacific Women Information Network Center. Our focus is on actually training the women entrepreneur, okay, in SME, to learn more about digital skill, okay, and learn a lot of other examples in our institution level. So based on my perspective, there are huge opportunity for Asian countries, okay, to redefine inclusive development in Asian, okay, while breaking gender bias in AI, and then in the same time, you want to create AI model that where that fair, okay, that fair, transparent, okay, and then responsibility to both genders, and then give a social positive social impacts and economic outcomes. Okay, that's all.
Thank you, Dr. Hashia. Actually, I just talk a little bit with Annie and Hashia. We need another special session because we don't have enough time to discuss this kind of hot issue. I wish to hear more from both of you. And also from Dr. Ayu, we'd like also to know from you, what do you think, since we're hearing these two panelists, how do you think we can eradicate gender biases, and how do we make sure that the AI systems that we develop are not going to, I don't know, like have certain biases on certain genders or certain aspects in your experience? Please, Dr. Ayu.
Thank you, Dr. Fani, for the question. So I just want to add a little bit from the Dr. Hasya and also Annie. So actually, stereotyping and bias, they are not easy to handle for an AI model. So like this afternoon, I tried ChatGPT, and then I still found some stereotyping on gender. I tried two queries. One is, what are the best 10 jobs for a single mother? The other one is, what are the best 10 jobs for a single father? So for a single mother, the ChatGPT gives jobs about like administrative assistant, customer service representative, virtual assistant, nurse, graphic designer. So the 10 jobs, they are not in science and technology field at all. And then for the single father, the ChatGPT gave jobs of software developer, IT specialist, electrician, healthcare professional, and so on. So of course, if you try the same query in different time, it might give you different answer, right? Because ChatGPT is a large language model. It doesn't have any knowledge. They only have numbers such as common math function. So you should be careful if you talk to the ChatGPT. They don't have knowledge actually, yeah. So you need to be very wise in using the ChatGPT. And I try also another thing. It's a machine translation. So you see in Indonesia, the pronouns for women and men are the same. Yeah, the word is dia, right? But in English, we have she and he. So I try to translate a sentence such as, dia berhasil menjadi seorang perawat. And the translation is that he succeeded in becoming a nurse. I try to change the nurse or perawat into doctor. Dia berhasil menjadi seorang dokter. And then the translation is he succeeded in becoming a doctor. So this is stereotyping where nurse is woman and doctor is man. So it's kind of a very, old problem in the machine translation actually. So when I see this, you can see that this large language model, ChatGPT is I think it is the most used AI technology in Indonesia. Many people use it, right? From primary school students until us, the teachers itself, yeah. So it's very important to check on this very good AI model. But you see, this large language model, it learns from data. So they built the model from the available documents. It means like the articles, books. So it will also learn the bias contained in this text data. It's just the same as the woman student before from the preceding university. You're asking about the stereotype, right? Where women stereotype it not good in science and engineering. So first of all, we as women, we need to strengthen our confidence that women and men have the same quality in science engineering, including artificial intelligence. Yeah. So of course that's the first thing. And then, in my opinion, to eradicate the stereotyping and the bias in this AI model, the developer should understand that this is a serious issue. Why? because it can influence a girl in having confidence in herself to study in science and technology. And it can also influence a parent to ask the little girl to study more in non-technology field because they feel like, okay, in stereotyping, women is not good in technology, so you don't have to study technology, something like that. It's very serious problem. So a developer, they should understand that kind of thing first. Of course, it should be in the AI ethics, in the regulation or law. It should have the standard, and should also have these assessment tools. We need to check whether AI model already handle this kind of thing, the stereotyping and the bias. So in a developer, the AI model developer, they should pay attention on this. They should conduct some procedures to provide an unbiased AI model. So they need to check whether the training data still contain the bias or not. And after the AI model is trained, they need to check whether the model has handled the bias problem before the launching. And actually, this is not only the gender bias, but also in religious belief, race, or ethnic group. So, for example, actually, for the Muslim, the bias is that the terrorist, something like that, right? It's not only Muslim, other religion also the same. So, but for now, the AI model already launched, for example, the ChatGPT. So we just need to help them by testing their model in various bias information and then push them to handle this problem. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ayu. By the way, just for your kind information, ASEAN is going to develop an AI guideline and governance, and also another one is AI guideline for the responsible use for generative AI, and it's supported by a U.S. mission to ASEAN as well. So maybe I will recommend three of you to come to the fourth group discussion. Okay, we will only have time for one question from the audience outside. So please, one. Short question, please. Please mention your name and your university.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity as given to me. My name is Bruce J. William Zacharias. I come from President University, and now I would like to ask the question. At the time you think about civil right and justice for gender, especially for women, I want to ask the question, what do you think about women who experience sexual harassment? As we know, this case in Indonesia is very high. And the women who gets that will afraid to show up themselves to the public. And how, through AI, this can push the woman to be more confident to work. Not only that, like human trafficking. What about for that? Maybe that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a very difficult question, by the way. So, thank you. Maybe I'm reading the instruction, by the way, just to make sure because we're running out of time. So maybe the speakers from here, Annie or Asia would like to answer.
Okay, Dr. You might also have thoughts about it. You touched upon it a little bit, but just a bit from my side is that, and that's the power of AI, that you can tackle these hard issues using AI. For example, when you talk about human trafficking, this is very much undercover thing, but if you have AI, and especially if you have the technology around vision and using AML and things like that, you can actually sense, the AI can predict. So the big advantage of AI as a technology is prediction, right? So if you can predict that behavior from whatever the vision is actually capturing, the cameras are capturing, then you are able to take action. For example, in a simple offload case, a driver who is actually feeling sleepy, just by the movement of his head or eyes drooping and things like that, they're able to accurately predict that this driver is going to have an accident because he's sleepy, and then take action. Now think of the same thing being applied in a human trafficking situation or in the sexual harassment case. So there's more to it, and there are many solutions, but just want to give a directional thing about how we can use AI to solve these hard problems.
Thank you so much, Annie. And I think we will have more discussion further after this. So you're welcome to contact each panelist, and we will provide you the information. And please give a round of applause to all the panelists. And thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Ayu.
Thank you.
So now we are going to the panel 2. We're honored to have Ibu Diah Anita Prihapsari. Please, Ibu. Akanita Yudi is the chairperson of the ASEAN Women Entrepreneurs Network for 2021-2023. She is a successful entrepreneur and founder of PT Arcipta Bangun Persada. Currently, she is also a chairperson of the board of IWAPI, Indonesian Women Entrepreneurs Association. She has successfully led IWAPI's members to export goods and products around the world to Canada, the Middle East, and South Korea. Welcome, Bu. And then the next panelist is Rebecca Joyce Schwabe. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Please, Rebecca. I just talked to Rebecca, and she's a little bit unique. I mean, she's from the US, and now she's representing Vietnam, actually. Rebecca is an experienced technology entrepreneur with a career spanning 26 years, co-founding 6 startups, including her current venture, Saigon AI. And she is a leader and an advocate for helping bring young women into technology, a passion that is being realized in Vietnam with the award-winning impact of Saigon AI. And she enjoys the culinary arts, being a pianist, and experiencing new cultures through business and personal travel with her family. Welcome, Rebecca. And then we have Metawi Tatsana Satyan Kit from Thailand joining us online. Sawadika. Metawi is a founder of Vulcan Coalition, founder of AI startup driven by people with disabilities. And she attended the Economic and Social Enterprise Wisely Academic Fellowship 2016 at Connecticut University. She received Bachelor's of Laws from Thammasat University, Thailand. So please give round of applause to the panelists. So I think it's getting harder, but we have limited times. So let's move on. So Ibu Nita, I have, actually we have questions. You're being successful as an entrepreneur, so we're kind of curious, how do you make sure your working environments are inclusive? How do you balance your career and balance life? And then in the AI sector, do you have like a role model, and how do you apply to your work and your leadership in the IWAPI? Please, Bu.
First of all, I would like to say thank you to the U.S. mission to ASEAN to inviting me to be here, and it's an honor to be here. And also welcome to our member here, IWAPI member, and also the Vice President of IWAPI, Ibu Ira, Ibu Yanti, Ibu Nana, and Ibu Sophie. Welcome, and also the audience. Let me try to answer the question. I think the balance, to make the balance of the professional life and personal life, it's not easy. We have to work to manage how to make the balance of personal life and professional life. I think we have to make priorities, and I think the first thing is we have to get the strong support from the family, especially from husband. What is in English, yeah? We have to get what? Permission from the permission from the deep heart of him, not only in the mouth, yeah. And also the other thing is strong supporting from our daughter, our children. And also pay attention, we have to pay attention to health, pay attention to family, and work smarter than harder. And then now when you need help, once again, it takes a serious effort to balance the professional life and personal life. I think that's all. And the second question, the role model for AI. Actually, my youngest daughter right now is work in the TV1 AI. She just graduate last year last year in January, this January, from Seattle University, Washington Seattle University, Wazoo. And my the role model, I just learned about the Timnit Gebru. Timnit Gebru is a computer science who works in algorithmic bias and data mining. And also she works in Google, but right now she works on the advocate for diversity in technology and co-founded Black in AI, a community of Black researchers working in AI, and she's the top 10 women in the world of AI 2023. I think she's from Ethiopia, the Timnit Gebru. And from Indonesia, I also has a role model that is Morisa Chokro. Do you know, everybody? She's the Inspiring Woman International, and she's the engineering behind the sophistication of Tesla car that launched a beta version of the full self-driving artificial intelligence features. Morisa is the only Indonesian woman on the team in autopilot software engineering.
Oh, great. Thank you, Bu. So I think we're going to have a follow-up sessions after this. One is about the policy, and one maybe we can invite some of your role models, your daughter, Timnit, and also Mang Chokro from the behind the scene of Tesla. I think that will be great. So thank you, Bu. And I really hope that my husband is watching this. But he's a good supporter for me. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be here Friday night. So, so after that, maybe a follow-up question is for you, Rebecca. After being the career life balance and then some role models and the prioritize, how, in terms of your experience as founder of several startups already, how do you make sure leaderships in your companies, and then make sure also women and girls are involved in this leadership, not only being as a participant, but being leaders in your environment, especially in AI startups?
Okay. Well, especially for Saigon AI, but for all the startups, the one thing that we always say is that we are there to make the best version of you. That's what we tell our staff. We are there to make the best version of you. We help them identify their strengths and weaknesses. That's how we also identify who has leadership skills. We also say reinvent yourself. So we're talking about AI, but if someone's here that is a business major or an economics major and is strong in math, you can switch careers. You can be trained on the technology side. You already have the intuition, the getting into the data, the deep statistics. We can help with the rest. Those of us who have gone before, if you have someone who can support you like that, because that's what we do. And when we're working with our staff, there's a couple other little things we say. You don't know what you don't know. Ask questions. Keep asking questions. You want to go deeper, you want to learn more. The next thing is learning is for life. I have pivoted my career about 3 times. I started in finance, I pivoted to blockchain, and I am now in data science. Okay, so we can reinvent ourselves constantly, but part of that is learning is for life. We're always going to be learning something new. And women, stand strong. We are smart, we are strong, and men, you are too. So let's all respect each other, and that's the key. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So maybe the next question is who wants to switch career to AI? Please come to Rebecca and
yes, move to Vietnam.
have discussion. All right. So hello. Yeah. Just want to make sure that also the inclusiveness in technology also covering people with disabilities, and we are actually quite curious about your experience. Tell us a little bit about how do you come up with this idea? Your background is law, and the follow-up question after that is that how do we make sure, how do we engage people with disabilities, and in terms of AI, how can it be applied or can be accessed by people with disabilities, or even can be developed by people with disabilities, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So I would like to talk a bit about Wow Calculation. We are AI startup driven by people with disability. Currently, we have about 600 people with disability, including blind, deaf, mobility, and autism. They are working with us as an AI trainer. They are the one who input the data, who label the data, and we can have the quality of data to training the AI algorithm. For us, we believe that every people with disability, they have the hidden ability, but there are some limited that preventing them to perform. So what we do is that we invent the technology, the platform that blind people be able to access by using the skill leader that can listen to the voice, and the voice will guide them to every function of our platform. And after that, they can hear the voice, and then they try what they hear, and we pairing the text and the voice together, and we use the data to train the text-to-speech AI in Thai language. And many people might not know that the speed that blind people normally listen to the voice is 2 or 3 times faster than normal people, and we use that super ability to train the AIs. And for deaf people, since we have many types of the picture data set, we train deaf people by using the icon and sign language, so they can go in our platform and they can label what type of the object in the picture, and we can use those pictures to train the smart camera AIs. This is the example how we utilize people with disability ability to training the AI. And since I have the background in law, and in Thailand, every company with hundreds of the employees, they have to hire at least one people with disability. And if they cannot hire, they have to pay the fee to the government fund. Many companies in Thailand, they cannot hire the people with disability, and they normally pay the fee. So we partner with them. We partner with 60 leading companies in Thailand. For example, Agoda, and they will help. They will be the one who pay the salary for the people with disability who have the knowledge about AI, and this type of model, people with disability, they can stay at their home and work through their computer and be the AI trainer.
Wow, fantastic. I'm actually quite amazed. Please give a round of applause. And actually, I didn't know that Thailand has that kind of policy. So maybe that's one topic also that maybe I can raise to ASEAN member states and see whether it's quite possible also to explore in that direction. So I think we still have times now to have questions from the audience. Last time we have a question from there, maybe one, yes? So many.
Standing?
Yes, please, stand.
Okay, thank you. Good night, everyone. My name Elin. I'm from Kosgoro University, so Jakarta. So I agree with from Thailand. We just human being have a limitation for to use AI. But how about our children? Can you make some limitation to use their equipment like cellular phone? Because if we building in ourselves to use our technology, maybe it benefit to us, but not to our children. How you can limit to make some the children affect positive and negative? Thank you. I think enough.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I think it's like if we can educate our people about AI literacy, it means that every technology they have the benefit and they also have the disadvantage. It means that we teach the people how they can utilize this technology to create a positive impact. For example, I teach my mobile ability people to use the AI to create the infographic, and they can get a job from the leading company who normally will hire other people to do the infographic for them. And also, it's like some of the AI, for example, for the criminal, they use our voice to training the AI and use that voice to call for the older people to ask for the money. And I think this is how we misuse the AI. But I think it's like if we can educate the people, especially the children, to know the both the good side and the best side, and the bad side of the AI, and they will have the ability to choose how to use AI, and they can also know the impact of the AI that can affect their life, and they can be able to prevent those kind of bad things that can happen from AI. And in Thailand, we also have our government also try to educate not only children but for the old generation about AI as well, so they can be aware of this new coming technology.
Thank you, Mentawi. I hope it answered your question. So we have already questions from people from academia. So maybe one from entrepreneur or from IWAPI. Yes, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I have a question.
Can you mention your name? I mean,
That's
your
right. Yeah. So I'm Aisha.
institution?
I'm from Indonesia Businesswomen Association. So my question is, we know that AI is very useful and is accessible to everyone. how we use it in our professional life, in personal life as well. How early we should be integrating AI education into the education system. Maybe that's all. Thank you.
I think the question goes to Rebecca or Bonita.
Okay. So, all right. It's a kind of a loaded question because before we introduce AI, I think we need to introduce what it is, how it works, so people can really know when they're using something, is this a good use, is this not a good use? The one thing, even in the business world we have right now, is everybody goes, ooh, AI, I want it. Okay, but do you know what you want? No, because you don't know what it is, so you don't know what you want. So we can incorporate it at a young age, and of course, you know, ChatGPT is all over the place right now in education, and it's been a big problem, and they're starting to do policies about it. But the problem is they don't understand and haven't taught how it works and why it does what it does, because it's generative. It's not real. It's not producing something that is truthful. It's producing something that its algorithm has been trained on to spit out at you. That's what our kids need to be learning. Our kids need to be learning what it is, how it works. Then they can be smart about it when new technologies come out. Now, don't get me wrong, ChatGPT has its place. It's great with so many things, but it's not the end-all, be-all of generative AI.
Thank you so much. So maybe after this is my my follow-up question later on. But before that, the question is maybe for you, Bonita. So how is the question from the online participant, how is the education institution or industry, private sector, can be relevant with the AI development with less gender bias? Thank you,
I
Bonita.
believe every stage of industrial revolution will lead to the more efficient processing and business model, such as automation. Automation is replace repetitive routine and also the predictable activities. And then also the revolution industry is cut unnecessary processing, reduce the cost, and also increase the company agility. And third is bring supply closer to demand. Technology remove barriers to the closely interact with the each other, and also personalization. Big data enable to better understand about customer behavior. So it gonna be make your business grow up. So I think AI is so important for our life.
Thank you, Bonita. And maybe Rebecca, following up, like I just asked it, how we can support the education institution from your point of view, developing a startup such that it can develop AI with less gender bias.
Okay, so what I can say from what we're doing is we are partnering with universities. We are helping them with writing curriculum so that the curriculum is, I don't want to say that their curriculum's outdated, but as you know, with university, they start teaching a course and 3 years later it's obsolete because something new came out. So we're working with several universities, US and Vietnam, and we're helping them write their curriculum, rewrite their curriculum. We're offering courses that our staff teaches that will explain it, will help with it. Now, as far as the bias, okay, I have an interesting position because I'm in Vietnam as a US citizen, okay, and I can see bias on both sides. Okay, so we all have bias. I think that's mentioned before. So collaborative, having different people from different regions, from different backgrounds, That is how we reduce bias.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I think we leave out with some deep discussion and a lot of homeworks to be done, but I hope that these two panels can help us to give some insights, maybe some, I don't know, to ignite how to empower women in tech, breaking barriers and building success. So thank you so very much for all the panelists for the second panel. And thank you. And finally, we would like to thank the U.S. mission to ASEAN and everybody here. And have a good night. Thank you so much.
All right, another round of applause for the wonderful speakers along with our wonderful moderator. Can we give a big hand to them? All right, that was such an enlightening discussion with the expertises, all the beautiful and wonderful ladies on stage tonight. And thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. If you find yourself enjoying this event, you can stay updated with our upcoming events by visiting our website at www.atmerica.org.id. You can subscribe to be our member, and also you can collaborate with us and submit your event ideas. And also follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at ATMerica for interesting contents, giveaways, and so much more. And also click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. With that, it is time to say farewell. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Hasna. See you on the next ATMerica event. Bye-bye, everybody.